And you are agent.
Come on, Adolfo. We've been through this 4 times.
We can be as careful as you, gringos.
Agent 423.
I'll take that for my next lottery pick.
Good luck.
The document you are here to read awaits you.
I've been here 3 days waiting to see this.
Oh, no, 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 no. No notes, please. You must read and remember, gringa.
Damn it.
You have the same rules for us. It's called
Reciprocal policies.
if you need anything, just ask for it. I can hear you and see you.
I've dealt with your people before, Adolfo. Nothing comes of it.
This is Mexico. Don't take too long, 423. I have a birthday party to go to tonight with my wife.
Happy tequila tasting.
For a 4-year-old.
My comment stands. I write this journal suspecting I may not get to finish it. So much to do here, exciting. This day, I am dropped into the best opportunity of a lifetime. 4 weeks ago, I stood on a cliff in Ireland looking at the ocean and knowing my life was ready to change professionally and personally. Lots to do. I've been dropped into the big leagues of cooking, diplomatic employment. I'm cooking my first meal on my first workday for one of the most important heads of state on the planet, the beloved, benevolent leader of the Libyan revolution, Muammar Qaddafi. Oh, sure, I've heard the rumors, Lockerbie and all that. Not my business. I'm a chef. And how can I hate a man who knows food, especially when it's mine? I got here on the wings of cosmic connections.
Cosmic connections? Did I hear that right? He got high on Amazon Zoom juice, translating for a Bolivian shaman in Ireland, took a trip to the stars and came back with cosmic connections. Told me all about it, changed his life on the spot.
I'm standing on a cliff in Ireland and asking for help from the firmament to which I am connected spiritually through Mother Ayahuasca. And boom, here I am in Libya cooking for the doctor. That's what they called the great leader, Colonel Qaddafi. I could just stand there and address the firmament.
He was that sure of himself?
I wanted 4 things. 1, get me out of the rain and cold, and Mother Ayahuasca did.
He calls it Mama Ayahuasca. I call it opening the genie's bottle.
2, work beside the sea, and I'm in Tripoli.
The genie is out of the bottle.
3, good pay.
The genie is grateful.
4, in hospitality.
The genie and his damn bottle come from the Middle East. I call that an eerie coincidence.
It all starts at the airport when I meet the sous chef they have hired to work for me, Freddie. A few years younger, first time off the reservation, very enthusiastic, and somewhat naive.
I can live with that portrait of me?
No idea if he can cook.
Whoa, that's libelous.
First class to Tripoli.
First class? Oh, the Jack Daniels my big heart and my little liver desire.
With a plane change in London. Short stops, Frankfurt, Rome, even a couple of Arabs in first class near us.
I dubbed them Mutt and Jeff.
One tall and balding.
Mutt.
one short, mustached.
Jeff.
Oilmen consulting Pemex.
We figure they color the flight.
They colored the flight. A plane change in London. There they were again.
Hey, Matt and Jeff.
Frankfurt, still there. Not friendly, but a nice coincidence. And we saw them again when we got kicked off the plane in Rome.
We had to get our Libyan visa fixed.
We reboard in Rome, and there they are again.
Matt and Jeff.
And when we deboarded in Tripoli, the tall one
Matt.
turns to us and says in English, Sergio, Federico, follow me.
Perfect English. A lie dawns in Tripoli before sunrise.
They rush us through customs ahead of everybody, but they find a bottle of Jack Daniels in Freddie's luggage.
Guilty as charged.
Spread out, the tall one says.
Shitty English.
Freddie steps out in the street and feeds it to the sewer gods.
I poured it out. I was pissed, literally and figuratively.
I think he was slightly drunk from the flight.
Did Sergio write that it broke my heart to do it? No, thought not. Jackie D, near and dear to my heart. Screw the Libyan blue laws.
Mutt introduces us to our driver. This is Manso, your driver. Thank you very much. And just like that, he hands Manso our passports and walks off.
There go our passports. Manzo.
Sweet guy, a sweet smile and with a little English.
And with our passports in his pocket.
He drives us in a white, middle-aged Mercedes.
Guess Manzo is our full-time driver now.
Takes us for a wild ride through a sea of transport.
No rules, no lanes, no logic. Instantly sobering.
We reach the city center in one piece.
Fender benders everywhere, men in flowing robes beside their vehicles, screaming at one another.
Qaddafi posters everywhere. Lampposts, fences.
38 years of Muammar Qaddafi.
He points his camera out the car window and the car comes to a dead stop in the middle of traffic. No pictures, no pictures.
He's shouting at me.
Manso keeps yelling, no pictures, no pictures.
Okay, I get it.
Manso recovers and pilots us to our hotel.
Nothing grand. 5 stories, maybe.
Hotel's adequate, has a reasonable first-floor dining room.
The elevator works.
Hands our passports to the hotel manager.
Here they go again.
And the hotel manager tells us, you need anything, let him know.
I need my passport, hombre.
Manso takes us out to buy what we need to cook for the great man. Good, basic stuff. Frying pans, colanders, silverware, a decent selection of knives. He tells us to buy whatever we need. I pick out one knife and Manso gets agitated.
Take more, money, no problem. He screams at us.
An entire box of knives and shoves it into my hands.
He always has plenty of cash. Manso keeps yelling, take more, take more, take more. Oh, Jesus.
And that is how it has worked here since. Everywhere we go, as soon as they know who we work for, we pay nothing.
Don't make it sound so bad.
Work. Day 1 arrives. We're excited. It's time to go to a Qaddafi house. Same house every day by a different route every day.
So we never knew exactly where we were.
Manso drives us to a palatial Qaddafi home compound, one of several, Manso explains. Perhaps not his home.
That was a Bedouin tent someplace in the desert.
This is very much the dictator's house. 6 feet thick concrete walls, 8 feet high.
It's a bunker.
2 armed guards toting AK-47s on each side of the entrance. A military guard walks by.
All women!
The kitchen, we walk into a chef's dream. The air-conditioned kitchen, gigantic wool stoves, walk-in refrigerators, freezers, a pantry stocked with Italian white Alba truffles.
Yubari King watermelons?
There's caviar,
Matsutake mushrooms?
Wagyu steaks, fine balsamic vinegars, the best olive oil, spices from around the world, a collection of fine wines, cognacs, champagnes.
We were never to mention that to anyone, of course.
All presided over by this huge Libyan house manager,
Whom we called,
Bigoton.
or big mustache in Spanish.
He has a large mustache,
Surprised he could raise his upper lip to speak.
deep voice.
No emotion.
Bigoton shows us the break room, air-conditioned.
Biggest TV I ever saw.
Video games, ping pong tables, soft drink stuffed cooler, and a swimming pool out the single slice of a window.
But he mentions those dinner plates.
And the dinner plates
There was money there.
from the house of Versace, bordered in gold.
Each plate is worth $200.
And should any go missing,
If I happen to slip a couple in my backpack,
Bigoton said, naturally you shall be killed.
he was looking straight at me. I was only kidding.
Has anyone been, you know, convicted of stealing? And Bigoton looked at us for a long moment.
What have we gotten ourselves into?
There are experienced international chefs to manage all that imported food. The chief chef is André, French. A German named Otto, Peo, Spanish, Halal the Moroccan, and us.
When do I start cooking?
First there are the menu. First there are the house rules. Eat what you want, but take nothing out.
Food or anything else?
Never go beyond the second concrete wall. If we ever meet the doctor, never look him in the eye. Anything we want, we ask Bigoton for it.
Women, drugs, boys, booze sounded good to me.
We do anything we want as long as the doctor knows. That's what they
I asked, can we start cooking now?
Then there were the menu rules.
Rules hell, let's start cooking.
Bigoton wants no food from us before we know the menu rules.
We were there to cook.
Number one, both at lunch and dinner, 3 dishes each.
That wouldn't be hard.
Second rule, every meal must have rice, but a different rice each meal.
Tough, but not impossible. See, I was ready to start, but they weren't.
3, no protein with fruit in a main course.
There went Sergio's best ideas.
4, watermelon for every meal.
No seeds.
Number 5's hard.
No meal ever repeats over a month.
Bigoton pointed to a heavy ledger. We register each day's menu there like an aviator's flight plan. 60 different menus every month.
Go to it, chef. Chef executive.
We are aviators flying over terra incognita.
With no radar or altimeter.
6th rule is the simplest.
6 was the worst.
No white rice, ever.
Never heard of such a thing.
None is what he wants, that's what we give him. Okay, rice colored with parsley, rice with green tomatoes, yellow peppers, beets, yellow tomatoes, purple eggplant.
Ingredients, ingredients, ingredients.
Choose ingredients to flavor and color the rice.
And maybe a little food coloring on the side.
We work like demons. Every meal, different colors, different tastes. Food into the tasters. One Chinese taster and one Libyan. Bigoton explains food into the tasters, then into doctor. And Peo the Spaniard sidles up to us.
What is this Qaddafi? This colonel thinks he's a great man. My family has cooked for Generalissimo Francisco Franco. He was a great man.
Bigoton overheard him. Such talk is unhealthy, I have warned you. This nation respects Colonel Qaddafi, and so should you.
Peo wouldn't back down. Puta mierda, tío. Listen to you. You beg us to respect doctor. Do you think Franco needed anyone to beg for him?
We understand food. Let's leave politics out of it. But Peo persisted.
This Libyan colonel sits on a sea of oil. Otherwise, Europe would crush him.
Bigoton's eyes went dead.
Bigoton's silence was screaming at us.
And at this point, I asked Freddie to just shut up.
Whoa, whoa. She's speed reading and skipping passages. I'm Freddie. Yes, I'm Sergio Sushev. I'm younger, less experienced than Sergio, more handsome. But she's getting an image of me from Sergio's journal that's a little off. I'm Sergio Sushev. Sure, we sous chefs do all the tough cooking work for Doctor. That's what everybody calls him.
Doctor is what everybody calls Muammar Qaddafi. I think he's that sacrosanct in his Libya, that respected.
That feared. But we didn't appreciate that yet. But getting back to me, as sous chef, I do most of the cutting and chopping and frying and boiling and squeezing. Sharp knives, red-hot pans, and boiling water are my world. Syracuse is studying his favorite recipes at night and worrying about food quality by day. Chefs executive are strategic planners. Now, anybody for a taste? Raise your hand.
We started with a soup common on Mexican tables, fideo seco. Veggie soup with thin, small pasta.
Soup. Hold it right there. Some call it soup, some don't. Just so you know. You fry the pasta a little to soften it. And while you keep your eye on the noodles not to burn them, you pour a couple of ladles of the boiling chicken stock into the blender on top of cooked tomatoes, onions, and chilies. You chop them in the blender, then run them through a strainer with the juice dribbling into the boiling bouillon. By now, when the noodles, the fideo, is slightly soft and brown, into the boiling water it goes, and you've got fideo seco.
With all the fine, fancy food flying around this kitchen, fideo seco somehow stands out. Doctor loved it. He ate it up. I asked, "Peo, por qué?" And he invited me outside for a smoke, away from Bigoton. Of course, Peo had his political theory, which could include fideo seco.
Very Catalonian of him. Maybe after all the power and disappointments, Doctor remains a simple man at heart. Maybe he all of a sudden worships with your fideo in some strange way, eh? Who knows? Born and bred on the desert, yet water is his fate. Maybe fideo seco reminds him that his forefathers gave their life for water, shed their blood for it, and now he sheds the blood of others for a different fluid, oil. Perhaps fideo seco is a symbol for him of the oil that runs his empire, a river of oil at his service.
But the important thing we had to understand, of course, Bigoton informed us. Tasters check our food before the great man eats it. Doctor chooses from 6 plates of food.
3 foreign, 3 local dishes from his Moroccan chef.
They pronounce the dishes safe, and Doctor takes a few nibbles to make his final choice. And I ask it, what if a taster drops dead? That's performance pressure. Then I asked Bigoton if that had ever happened.
We heard a story or two.
Bigoton was diplomatically non-committal. That, my dear, is none of your business.
What he actually said was, listen to me. You're not here to ask questions. You're here to cook. Understand?
And after that, Freddie and I talk a lot about why he had hired us. Mexico is a long way from Libya.
I heard he's building his case for a permanent Mexican visa, just in case.
He has a Mexico just-in-case theory, but Qaddafi's in complete control. There is no just-in-case scenario I can see.
Oh, yeah?
A day or two after we got here, I called Freddie's room. I'm watching Charlie's Angels. A half-hour show takes 10 minutes. What's going on?
Felicidades, genius. I noticed that 20 minutes after we arrived.
No décolletage showing on Qaddafi's television.
cancel my subscription.
And no news.
Screw that. Let's get back to Charlie's Angels.
Same is true of the break room TV. Even sporting events. Steffi Graf whacks Martina in the French Open.
No bouncing risky breasts for us.
All long shots.
Shame. Crappy Libyan TV. Who needs it?
And then something interesting started happening at work.
In a minute, she'll turn the page of Sergio's journal there and read it. She's reading it.
I send in my favorite plate, chicken in peanut sauce, and it comes back nibbled at but uneaten. My cooking has started coming back. I couldn't believe it. He kept eating the Moroccan food, but sending ours back, just a nibble or two.
Okay, Sergio's strategic planning got us into hot water. Not boiling, but hot enough to cook a chef executive's reputation. At least neither one of his tasters dropped dead. That's in our favor.
Doctor has a taste and decides whose meal he eats. In this case, not ours, but the food of the Moroccan chef, halal.
A nice guy. He provides a meal along with one from one of us foreign chefs. In the World Cup of Cooking, Morocco versus Mexico. And Morocco kicks the pepper forward and moves to one side and dribbles with it. Morocco prepares, shoots, goal! La huevo! Halal wins! And I'll tell you now, as often as not, Morocco wins against everybody.
The German Otto seldom beats halal. Peo sometimes. The Frenchman André often.
Yeah, but only when he stoops to cook spaghetti. Pardon, pasta.
Tasted but uneaten. Bigoton shrugs. Doctor did not like, he says.
We come thousands of miles to cook for him, and he rejects it. So what?
As Mexican executive chef, I bear all major responsibility.
Let's go have a smoke.
The rest of the chefs ate our dishes with relish. Peo favors us with a quick reality update.
Take it not personally, eh? Qaddafi owns this country. He must prove to the world that he is the boss and that Libyan cuisine is superior to that of Europe or Mexico if he thinks so.
Peo speaks quite frankly. Here we cook for money, my friend, he said, and I replied, I cook to please people.
Peo smiled. He eats to rule. He decides who lives here, who dies today, who grows rich tomorrow, who starves. A meal from any of us can affect nothing.
André, the French chief chef, and Peo, the Spaniard, must have seen my chagrin. Both gobble our chicken in peanut sauce.
Andre comes with your peanut chicken. Très bien. And Peo with un poco más, por favor. Andre is muy simpático.
Both are muy simpáticos. Peo smiled at us warmly.
I wonder about you. How did you get here?
I explained to them we are Mexicans by way of Ireland.
An Irish Mexican, huh?
I was running after hours clubs in Mexico City. They decided they didn't trust my right-hand man and disappeared him. I was getting into drugs myself, and my sister in Ireland convinced me to bail out before worse things happened. Through her, I got a job running a new age B&B in Ireland.
But from Ireland to Libya, pourquoi?
Took a trip on ayahuasca, guided by a Bolivian shaman, and I get back from my cosmic connection, and the shaman proclaims me a leader of men.
Ayahuasca?
I explain. A potion from the Amazon jungle connects you to the cosmos. Not an illegal drug.
Some governments call it illegal.
I stood on a hilltop overlooking the sea and called for help from the cosmos, and here I am, a diplomatic chef cooking for the head man of Libya. Not bad, I thought.
Peo was not buying the big deal chef from Latin America routine, and your chicken in peanut sauce comes back, eh?
All the chefs here, everybody except Doctor loves it.
Peo was in a giving mood. You must understand something fundamental to survival here.
He told us there are no rules here. All the traffic told me that right off.
There are no rules here, except what doctor decides on the spur of the moment. Hmm? But he sits on a throne so rickety he cannot trust the food set before him. His decisions are made beneath a crown of thorns.
I think Peo got a little too frank with us.
And the wrong person overheard.
And a few days later, we got a taste of what Peo was talking about.
That Tuesday,
Two officers come in. One of them is a woman with two goons in uniform. Army? Police?
who knows? So many goddamn uniformed people here, men and women.
They stride up to Peo, who was in the middle of stirring his paella pan. He didn't even see them, and they grab his arm.
Come with us.
Just like that. Come with us.
We're authorized, etc., etc. Just come with us.
Peo starts to say something, and the officer slaps him.
Hits him hard.
Nothing official.
Just hard.
Peo falls back on his paella pan, and they drag him out, with rice and shrimp and sausage and everything strewing across the floor behind.
Peo doesn't let out a sound.
His nose bleeding, they drag him out the door. Not a sound from him.
Ander walks over, turns off the burner, calm as though he had seen nothing.
Somebody gets a broom and dustpan and starts to clean up the mess.
Me, I cleaned it up.
Nobody says a word. We just continue cooking or playing ping pong in the break room.
Television.
I think we go back to square one and cook something simple. Moyetis?
I thought it was too simple.
I'm getting the idea. He'll love moyetis, I think.
Sergio hoped.
It's almost impossible to know what he likes. Dictators like keeping people wondering and watching and wanting and waiting.
The 4 W's, cornerstones of the dictator's world.
And in Mexico,
Dictatorships.
moyetis. Simplest things in the world.
Dictatorships.
The Mexican cooking supplies we ordered never arrived, and I had to make do with Libyan beans. As Peo would say, a functioning dictatorship is like a well-organized mollete.
Poor Peo.
There is the small French bread that is cut with a knife. The knife is the political police. The slit bread is the population.
I hear Peo.
Political police are here to open up the people so the dictator knows what's going on inside. He knows what we are talking about here in the kitchen.
Bigoton.
Mix the beans, boil them soft, smash, drop them into a frying pan with oil and maybe some onions, fry them a little, and you have refried beans.
Doctor, he likes it, or
The police better not find anything, or else.
or can mean a whole lot of things.
Or can be losing your job,
Peo.
or something worse. And just to make sure our populace is really on his side, the dictator heats up the atmosphere where the populace thinks. On television,
Controlled.
on radio.
Controlled.
Keep the populace warm and receptive to the dictator's message.
Call that the fire under the bread.
So now the refrieds come into play, and they are all the good things the dictator can pour upon his people.
If he chooses.
It's a decent education, travel privileges, special tax-free stores.
How about the basics? Living wage, better housing, decent medical care.
None of this does anybody get us a right.
Doctor figures nobody has a right to anything.
Doctor decides who and why and how much. But it isn't just the beans and bread. There's the cheese topping it all.
Another rung up the dictator's control ladder.
Could be a good government job.
You show up once a month to collect your check.
Or you might be appointed a third assistant to a minister, the top ministry jobs, immediate family only.
Predictably, he had a large family.
His big family only was to be trusted. So the cheese on top is the final advantage you can get.
And still keep your hands clean. Sort of.
None of this stuff did Freddie and I know about when we got here.
Unfortunately,
And then something big happened.
something depressing happened.
Don has news for me.
Delivered with the voice of Job.
A banquet, we aren't prepared, and he announces, this day you meet Dr. Qaddafi himself. It came as a surprise, and Bigoton came with 3 rules to remember, Mr. Mexican.
Bigoton loved making rules, but Mr. Mexican here does not like to obey. But I can't wait to take a look.
Go to the dining room.
Where we were never allowed.
Stand there on the other side of the table and do not look into his eyes.
Get ready, everybody.
Say hello.
Can't wait to hear what's next.
Say your name and leave.
That's 6 rules. Check his math.
The room turned out to be larger and more depressing than I imagined. Bare, white walls.
Maybe reminded Doctor of the tent he was born under.
2 men sit silent behind a table long enough to seat maybe 12 to a side. We stood before the table looking down as directed.
Like a pair of obedient slaves.
I heard them breathing.
Or is it your own breath?
Hello, I'm Sergio, and this is Freddie, my sous chef. And his voice comes back deep and scratchy.
Makes me want to clear my throat.
I know your names. And I heard the young man beside him yawn.
I snuck a look. Bad news. It's Saif al-Islam Qaddafi.
Son, Saif sits beside him. We know from a picture in the break room.
Saif has more killings than anybody outside knows about. Break room talk.
Graveled voice growled at me. You're satisfied here? Qaddafi? Or one of his doubles?
Best break room estimate? 10.
Yes, sir, very satisfied. And he asked how I know I am satisfied.
I heard Saif snicker. Sweat trickled down my back. Holy shit. What have I gotten myself into?
And the great man inquired, wages, food, your hotel? Your answer.
Inspiration must have reached him on the wings of desperation.
Sir, the opportunity to work in a small way for the great Libyan socialist revolution. He licked his boots.
I could hear the great man's pupils dilate.
So then the doctor said, good. Go now. And that was all there was to it. That's all you got?
Up close, our fear melted into disappointment.
They're waiting for us in the break room. You were impressed, Bigoton wants to know.
I heard anticipation.
Impressed.
There went the anticipation.
Fine. The rules this country with a will of iron, and he turns out to be a man in dark shades who can't look you in the eye. Andre smiled at my comment.
Bigoton didn't.
Later, Andre explained.
Do not make the mistake of assuming his riddle is simpler. His power is in the apparatus grown up around him. Each secret agent, each interrogator, each torturer has a vested interest in the Qaddafi machine as strong as he himself. That makes him dangerous.
For cigarettes outside, I see more of his female bodyguards flashing by.
Beautiful, dark, in battle fatigues, automatics dangling from web belts.
Almost as though Doctor wants us to see them. A thoroughly Qaddafi day.
All the same, our food came back uneaten.
The night before we are to cook, I consult my Mexican recipe file, preparing, planning.
Everybody likes our cooking but him, goddammit.
I'm losing sleep. I worry a lot. I feel as I felt my last days in Mexico City. After the bosses disappeared, my assistant, I fall asleep in the break room and Bigoton caught me.
You sleep well? There is always hashish. Say the word, and it awaits you in your room.
He suggested hashish. Could I trust him? How could you, Sergio? Who knows how long the colonels fed him? And he's Libyan. Everywhere I go, I'm followed. Probably Bigoton knows it.
He knows it.
Sitting in the hotel lobby, which I do a lot, a little man sits nearby, glancing at me over the same newspaper every day.
The hall in our hotel, a stranger always lounged near my door.
Walking in Tripoli, a Western-dressed man walks always nearby behind.
I noticed him first.
There's a friendly shisha bar near our hotel, hardly 100 feet from the door. It doesn't follow us there.
Spiced smoke shisha tobacco bar.
We feel calm and safe there in the tobacco-flavored reek.
I liked apple, pear, strawberry, all of it, even chocolate.
We sit at plastic tables, shisha pipe gurgling on the floor. Everybody relaxing on the open patio beneath light bulbs, talking.
Sounded like everybody was talking at once.
Betty and I use code.
The code was Spanish. El doctor puede irse mucho a la chingada.
Talk the nonsense we feel.
Él y su puta sandía sin semillas. Que se joda.
Now I no longer bother to read menus and prepare. I throw things together the moment moves me.
And does it ever move him?
Rice a la caviar, pigeon and truffle casserole, duck and camel's milk.
Doubt it was pasteurized.
I'm only careful with desserts. My crepes he liked.
Bigoton ignored the ledger when it came to my crepes because of my cajeta recipe. And here it is. My secret sauce. Doctor liked it. Who wants a taste? How about you?
The days I don't cook, I spend mostly in my room. I call my family in Mexico or my sister Alma in Ireland or friends all over the world, China. We talk for hours, my cell totally paid for.
And totally recorded.
And on the internet.
I've never been a big news guy, but no news there.
I hit the internet chat rooms.
Never mentions where we are or what we do. A wise move. Crepes beat chat rooms, huh?
There's the isolation of censorship, the isolation of being followed, the solitude of someone is watching my internet. I sit alone in the lobby with my worries about my food returning uneaten, and my mind goes off into women.
Amen. I've never read it, but I bet here comes the swim instructor.
Today was hot as dickens in the kitchen, but to the left of our kitchen bunker is a swimming pool.
Sadly vacant through the lone slit of a kitchen window, which we enjoy thoroughly.
There was a heavenly female form there, lovely long black hair, shapely form discernible under her thin white robe.
The pace in the kitchen picked up.
Quips and comments fluttered around the sweating cooks.
The quips and comments centered around, get the hell out of the way, you're hugging the view. Oh, you can bet Bigoton hopped onto the swim instructor, so to speak. Merely his swimming instructor.
I spy a beautiful woman through the window, and he calls her merely.
Or else,
Or else, Bigoton said.
in his best threatening voice.
Or else what? And he threatened us. Or else the results for you could be quite, I think you know. And nothing more that was made of by anyone.
The lighter feel around the stoves evaporated. Even the heat made us feel our puta irrelevance.
My yearning to see anything familiarly feminine is a way station on my descent into isolation. Each meal coming back uneaten.
Prepared with care or carelessness.
Worries me more.
The other cooks, the pros, adored our cooking.
Am I fearful?
We're merely thin-skinned.
And the money in my hand, $1,000 US weekly for 12 hours a week. Not bad.
We sold ourselves cheap.
In Ireland, I found my inner life and a purpose, and here I cook for money.
Here you cook, you get paid.
Now I am only making money cooking for the brotherly leader and guide for the great People's Arab Socialist Libyan Revolution. Sitting in the hotel lobby today writing this, I think of Peyo's words.
Yeah, Peyo, the people's poet.
I can't get free of it. Qaddafi sits on a throne so rickety he cannot trust the food set before him.
Yes, and what did it get him? Not for me, please. No, thank you.
Mother Ayahuasca, she who had shown me so much of myself, has abandoned me.
Sergio was as much a prisoner of Qaddafi's whims and worries as the doctor himself.
Today I sit and wait without an order to cook.
No word,
A word.
no order,
Order.
no matter.
They overlooked us.
It drifted into 4 more days without a cooking assignment. Now, that was a little serious.
I call Andre and I get him.
I was not aware you were not taken to cook. Let me look into that, huh? I shall call you right back.
He's nervous and I caution him, be professional, Freddie. Don't be paranoid.
What could getting fired in this place mean? There's no difference between us and anybody else in this world of that nut and his murderous sons.
I keep calling the front desk, 207, 208.
I keep calling the one number they gave me.
I suggest Freddie call his family.
I did. They said, get on a plane and come home. They didn't understand. We couldn't leave unless he said so. My mother kept saying, they're going to kill my son. They're going to kill my son. Jesus. Very calming.
Day 5 and the silence breaks with a ringing phone. Andre, finally.
Sergio, you cook lunch tomorrow. Freddy cooks dinner.
Had to be good. Day 6, I wake early from the first good rest in days. Manso picks me up in the usual Mercedes. I cook lunch. It comes back as always, uneaten. Almost 3, I go outside the bunker for a cigarette. And Bigoton emerges just as a beat-up Ford arrives. I ride to the hotel behind a sullen, new driver. Freddie waits in the lobby impatiently.
Where was Manzo?
Well, I told Freddie Manso didn't show. I keep calling Andre until almost 10, nothing. Then Freddie calls Andre and gets him.
Oh, my dear friends, there has been a petit problème. He said they expected the dishes to be more Mexican. Andre wanted a new request for our ingredients right away, tonight, by email, what we really need.
Our second list of ingredients, bigger, better. We spend the night on the computer and we wait.
Mobile phone silent. No dial tone. Day 10 of the silence. My family emails me. Mexican authorities cannot help. Shall we send prayers or money?
No answers anywhere. Another day of silence from the Qaddafi bunker. A Freddie call to Andre gets a response. We sense Andre under the control of Bigoton.
I will stop by hotel at 5 or 6 tonight, huh? Everything is fine. See you there. A bientôt.
Andre arrives at 5:10 in the afternoon walking. He always had a driver, but walking now. Strange, good to see him. It's not a job problem or a cooking problem. Maybe it is a political problem or somebody forgot about you. We go up to your room now. I wait to ask in the elevator, what the hell is happening, Andre?
Andre suggested we talk in the room.
We walk in silence to Freddie's room.
Safer there.
We listen to Andre carefully. Your ingredients are not going to arrive. They say they did not like your cooking and they don't want you here anymore.
Fine. Pay me good money and I'll leave.
Andre tried to calm us. Many of us are being left in our homes without working. It happened to me. It happened to a swim instructor. I think things are happening to Doctor and his family.
Andre was as much at sea about this as we were.
Andre asked us, what do you want? And I shall ask them. $5,000 severance.
A piece?
Open ticket.
2 open tickets?
Europe and Mexico.
For an entire year.
And Andre said, I shall see what they will do.
Allow me to tell you, huh? You forget to feel what he does. To understand a dictator, you must eat like a dictator. Order everything on the menu. Then you'll understand what time year means.
What the hell happened?
That is life here. Waist on top, want below. You eat from Qaddafi's hands. Or you eat not at all. The table is set. Serve yourself.
Ray suggested we stuff ourselves, promised to call in the morning, and bid us adieu.
He dropped the bomb and disappeared.
That moment we stepped into a new mindset.
Bye-bye, Doc.
Bye, doctor.
And your chingada seedless watermelon cubes.
Your multicolored rice.
Forget not the caviar in the peas.
Tastes everything and he eats nothing but his own Arab food. I pick up the phone. Room service, send me up the dishes on your menu. Yes, I said all.
Oh, and 6 Pepsis, please. No Coke here.
Knock on the door and 6 servers enter pushing 3 loaded trolleys.
6 guys dragging 3 trolleys. Oh, the cruddy room came alive for the first time.
We hand plates around and giggle. A shawarma doctor ordered.
Arab bread.
Lamb 3 ways.
Chicken twice.
Dozen vegetables.
6 bureks.
Shorba Arabia. What's that?
A thick Arabian soup.
Couscous, white rice.
Fried rice, mostly inedible.
Spanish rice.
Better.
Figs and dates and oranges and apricots and olives.
What are we, Bedouin vegetarians? And
And
a cheeseburger.
You could call it piles of uneaten food in a starving state party.
You could call it a cigarettes and Pepsi party. Andre promised to call in the morning.
Freddie seemed disappointed it didn't work out, and I told him maybe we got some money out of this.
And I told him we won't.
Maybe a good job elsewhere.
I lost it with him. I told him, don't be stupid, Sergio. Don't tell me you didn't know something was wrong all along. And you told me not to be paranoid. Well, I told him not to be stupidly optimistic.
Paranoia creeps in. 7 o'clock in the evening, and the phone rang. Thank God.
I talked to them. In the end, they really like the food. There is a possibility you go to another member of Doctor's family. The daughter in the United Emirates. He would love to send his daughter to the Mexican team. He loves you.
Andre, thank you very much about the daughter, but if you could get the 10,000 and our tickets out of here, it would be better for everybody. I'm not into working for this family.
I am not into being his surrogate son-in-law.
He promises us to call back shortly, and he hangs up.
Great, another Andre promise. Now comes the real pressure.
A word that day, the next day, and difficult days follow.
2 weeks of terror.
We eat little. We each go to our rooms and call our family to ask for help.
Or to say goodbye.
I described the situation to my sister Alma. We're supposed to get out of here.
No passports, we are screwed.
Call Andre for the umpteenth time, and oh God, Bigoton answered the phone.
They send you back to Mexico. Get ready now.
They're sending us back, but where's Andre?
That is none of your concern. Get ready now, and we'll let you know.
What happened? We could have gotten them out. Poor Andre, I can just imagine.
Yeah, poor Andre, but there's nothing we can do, so jump to packing.
Pack my bag in 5 minutes.
I finish in 2.
We sit in our rooms, ready.
What do we do next? We wait and wait.
And now we realize how deeply the dictatorship reaches into the soul.
No sleep that night.
We're up again at 5 in the morning.
Would they take us to the airport?
All we needed was the main palace and to know when he was there. Those who have suffered in the wake of Qaddafi's displeasure, who remembers?
Whom he or his sons murder in his own country is nobody's business.
By 9 o'clock in the morning, Freddie's desperate.
Well, Freddie didn't look so cool himself.
We go down with Freddie's bags and my one backpack.
That backpack's always with him. He got it someplace free.
We go to lunch to see if we can eat anything.
It was the last supper at noon.
More peppers, bread, some pasta, try some vegetables.
I hate watermelon. Oh, look! This watermelon has seeds! Doctor could have the cook killed.
After that, back to the lobby. Anything for us?
Nothing. Purgatory.
Nothing. Then we stay in our rooms and I keep calling the front desk, and at nightfall, we're fed up with checking at the front desk, and Freddie suggests we go out our last night in Tripoli.
Let's go out and get laid or something. We were always encouraged to stay in.
Let's see what they didn't let us see. I take my backpack, my wallet, camera, Mexican driver's license, European work permit, and a handful of dollars.
No passport.
Our escape opens before us as we cross the lobby until the night manager calls after us.
Sir. Oh, sir. You want I call you cab?
He tries to stop us. We'll be back in an hour. You'll be here.
Yes, sir.
Well, nobody.
Of course not, sir.
Our lives are in the night manager's hands. I wonder if he knew it.
Oh, he knew it all right. Should have tipped him better.
Across the park in front of the hotel, we dodge into a restricted area that's empty, a fortress where we were told never to snap photos.
I take photos.
Of course, Freddie snaps photos, and we were warned never to do that.
What the hell? This is Tripoli by night.
It's Tripoli. Somebody will shoot us or arrest us.
Nobody would find out.
We take pics along the way. After the fortress, we go on to see buildings.
Which were not permitted as during the days here.
Crossing a parking lot, we are caught in the sudden, unexpected animation of evening prayer.
We sit down and wait.
Prayers end, and around us, organized chaos returns. We walk fast through a market closed for men only.
We're side by side, shoulder to shoulder, no stopping.
We walk in a new reality. We walk through a poor neighborhood.
Through poor streets.
Crowded.
All doors open.
We could disappear through open doors into the lives we see.
People look out at us with suspicious eyes.
Did we wonder?
We were lost.
Freddie gets nervous. Come, Freddie, I tell him.
We can't find a way out. We're dead here.
We're in the middle of a storm, but we must keep walking and the storm will end. That's our prayer. The hotel. We gallop towards.
No news?
I call the lobby every 45 minutes. No hope. We must keep it before us, or we are dead in the storm of silence.
We're gonna stay here forever.
Smoke and silence, 2 packs each, a dozen Pepsis.
Each. Better be killed by Pepsi than Qaddafi.
3 a.m. Still smoking, no sleep. I sit on my tiny balcony and I stare up. It is though I am inside the Milky Way, searching for Mother Ayahuasca. No shirt. Feeling the air, feel where you are to remember who you are. My light must never go out. I know I have little without Mother Ayahuasca. I have less light than one of those stars. I go to bed. 6:30, the telephone. I wait 2 rings. Not a hallucination. Before the 3rd ring, I pick up Freddie.
Cabrón, el carro está abajo. Vámonos, vámonos de aquí.
I hang up and I grab a hotel comb and shoe polish sponge, memories of Libya, and I'm out of the room in 30 seconds. Is this real?
We were happy, nervous.
Somebody's here for us. We run through the lobby, happy.
We toss our keys on the counter as we pass.
We move toward our fate. What if they charge us something? Oh, what the hell? The front desk clerk, we almost know him. That's all. He smiles and he waves at us, and out we go. And the taciturn chauffeur from before is there, and now he has a big smile, and he waves our passports at us.
That was a relief.
Dollars at us. Airport.
Airport.
Our bags, we throw them in and slam the trunk, and we're already inside the car.
Come on, we're waiting.
Go to the airport.
Maybe not.
I'm suddenly keenly aware that this is Qaddafi's employee, not ours.
Who's this guy?
What else can we do?
Nothing.
Just scribble. I have lost my way, and Mother Ayahuasca cannot find me or does not want to, and we are in the middle of a storm, but we must keep walking, and the storm will. The ride to the airport, the ride. My dear young man, Mother Ayahuasca didn't lose you. We lost you.
And this, they never found.